afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. We're off here to a 1 vs 1 on deliriously wintry Crossroads winter. In the north, it is Tiramisu, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, liberty, corporate interests. Fighting here for the glorious 2nd Armored Division, charged with breaking through this snowy winter landscape to crash the crouch under the command of Jove. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 352nd Infantry Division, tasked with holding this strategically vital stretch of road work against the evil Americans. We got double gun started here for Joe. We got mechanized assault, German infantry, and spearhead with triple infantry bulletins versus heavy cavalry, tactical support, and airborne company with triple infantry bulletins as well there for Tiramisu. Double infantry starts there for both sides. Obviously, Joe's double infantry starts going to have a bit of a harder time there versus riflemen, since grenadiers on average are not quite as amazing as riflemen. Admittedly, they also 40 manpower less, but even if there's a significant difference there for example up close, where the rifleman typically has a 50% DPS edge over the grenadiers, meaning they can quickly saw through them. But anyways, enough about that. As always, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and press that bell button. Also, a big thanks to my Patreon supporters, without which this episode would not be possible. You too can support by Patreon or just donating. Links in the video description. Grenadiers parties moving out there. Note the usage of sandbags and barbed wire here for Joe to secure territory. Spreading out with the grenadiers, always something a bit more risky versus the Americans. So far, no sign on the MD-42, which is typically what you want versus the Americans, since otherwise your grenadiers again do not perform well, and typically the Wehrmacht is designed around having the basic infantry supported by machine guns anyway, so always going for heavy grenadier build is more risky, though if it's going for more grenadiers, I would say German infantry is going to look like a very likely doctrine, since if you're going for that many grenadiers, you definitely want a doctrine that really just, like, you know, pushes the most out of them, and that's definitely going to be German infantry without a moment of hesitation. Largely due to the veteran squad leader's ability, but also just assault and hold really just makes them, you know, do more. So we'll have to see that what Joe's end up for, but I'd expect German infantry could go mechanized assault to spearhead, but there we go. Note by the way, he's been able to quickly circle around here. Tiramisu's infantry, Tiramisu went hard there. Joe quickly played around and able to convert his grenadiers here on Tiramisu's infantry and overwhelm them with sharp Kar 98K fire. 4th grenadier squad on the way there for Jove, rather than they're being pushed back. Rival squad they're retreating, rival squad on the west side, or center, they're parties on the west side, so far no sign of the Americans, so far they're going to be doing a good job by the way there for Joe drawing in Tiramisu's infantry, otherwise he could risk losing his fuel point there if Tiramisu were to basically just ignore the grenadiers, so that's slightly working out there for Joe, troops reinforcing, setting out again. We're probably seeing a medic bunker soon, as this again he's planning German infantry, in which case again, once you upgrade the veteran squaddies, they gain veterans 1, they can heal themselves for free, so at that point, you technically don't really need a medic bunker. Technically don't. There's no tech yet there for Jove, but we got 4 grenadiers, so at this point I would say German infantry seems very much like it's going to happen. I mean, it doesn't have to go for it, but at this point, if you're going for 4 grenadiers, you'd be a bit silly not to go for German infantry. Anyways, we got take up here though for Tiramisu and the 2nd Armored. We got the lieutenant out here, El Teniente. Grenadiers moving about here, back here troops, we got hard work there in the snow, digging up bunkers. Obviously, sometimes the snow was so hard, and the dirt was so hard, particularly on the eastern front though, they actually had to use explosives to dig up holes. On the western front, I think that was less of a concern, but I imagine there would have been times where they still had to, like, you know, use harsher tools to dig with, and sometimes couldn't dig. So, little fun fact there. Little fun fact, but there you go. Quick taking advantage there of Jove's cover to make it harder for Jove to attack. As tend to be also one of the grenadiers' weaknesses, they tend to struggle a lot with units in heavy cover on their own, which is usually why you want a machine gun to pin them down behind the heavy cover, or a mortar to dig them out of the heavy cover. But it tends to be, again, one of the Wehrmacht's sort of weaknesses, in a sense. Got Raffiners grenadiers versus Raffiners as well, slowly bleeding them out. Up close, of course, here the grenadiers, and as they get really lucky, they usually get beat by the riflemen. Since again, the rifle just pack more DPS. In these two grenadiers, what was a reaction? We got Lieutenant moving in there with a Thompson up close, which means even more firepower up close, which is obviously even worse news for the grenadiers. From north here, Pioneers doing a bit of damage on the retreating rifle, got back the calf point. Grenadiers to the other rifle squad. Rifle squad this time, there's 2 low on health, should be routed. Grenadiers falling back. Here's Tiramisu strikes hard for freedom and democracy. Tech happening there for Joe. M20 there for Tiramisu. No, cancels it. Does mean, of course, it's gone for the mechanized command post. Might be thinking he wants us to do a light tank instead, and that would certainly be a good pick here. 50 cal though could also be a really good pick until then. We got Decisive Lieutenant here, and again, up close, the Lieutenant will absolutely beat the living tar out of the Grenadiers. So again, that Thompson is an incredibly powerful close quarter weapon. Decisive the Lieutenant. Pioneers the Lost. Oh, that's actually a better blow to Joe in the early game. Great though for Tiramisu since it slows down Jove's attack. On top of everything else, so that's going to be really harsh there for Joe. Gun is routed, Carve point hit again. So far the German army finds itself in a bit of a tight position. Pioneer squad almost done. Gun is reinforcing, no sign of a doctrine yet for neither Jove or for Tiramisu. I mean, Tiramisu does have options. Obviously all a good sort of early game here with some, well, heavy carry is probably the one that's least immediately good. But like for some right now, he go for tactical support to equip his troops with Browning light machine guns. That'd be a significant upswing in firepower. Get us on the way there. Or you could go for airborne for say 50 caps to be airdropped or whatever else you want there. Plus paratroopers with Brownings or Thompsons could also of course spell a lot of trouble for Jove. So we'll have to see there what Tiramisu ends with here versus Joe, and of course with Joe himself. This again feels very much like German infantry. It feels like it's just a matter of when rather than if. Stood light tank halfway down there as Rifle charge across the snow against the Grenadiers here. Outnumbered, outgunned, which was very much common on the Western Front for the German army by 1944. In particular, late 1944. They were fun. Oh, nice rifle grenade here. He was paying too much attention to the lower health Grenadiers. The other squad was able to fire a rifle grenade right into the midst. Thumbs up there to Jove. But yeah, Doctrine will be good here, going for the car point. He's going to slow down his opponent's income. Good there. Tiramisu with an ambulance, also very good. Grenadiers with re-echelons with a minesweeper. Grenadiers should have a good chance there of flashing them out at some point. Back here, fresh reinforcement for Jove. No light to make a nice company either. The Pioneers have already been pressed into frontline action. And there we go, German infantry. Not the biggest surprise here, not the biggest surprise. Again, very good, I think, overall, but also in particular very good if you go for a lot of Grenadiers. But even just like 2 or 3 Grenadiers with it is really good. Plus, of course, upgrading other stuff with the like 5-man Pioneers is pretty good. Panther Grenadiers with the package is also really good. And the 250 half-fig is also really good in a lot of circumstances. So you could actually rush that one out, I think. That could have been actually pretty good here versus Tiramisu. Could have given a bit more momentum early game. Plus, if you filled up when the Stormtroopers, they can lift Tiramisu in a really bad place. But there you go. Tiramisu commits to tactical support, meaning Browning light machine guns, which causes a significant uptick in firepower there for the riflemen. That's going to make it harder for the Jove's infantry there, at least until they get upgraded to fight back. But there we go, we do get one squad being cooked there with the veteran squad leader. Lieutenant flanking up behind the Grenadier. Of course, we've got 250 half-ticks, veteran squad leader, Stormtroopers, Assault and Hold, and fragmentation bombs. Brownings, Grenadier squad, they're routed. Stood, of course, a bit of problem there with all the infantry also flowing out here from Tiramisu space. M5 half-track. Recon run, strafing run, and of course the M4's German Calliope. Still, Joe's been able to fight back here reasonably well against his opponent. Surprised to see that Tiramisu's not gone for machine gun to help sort of deal with some of all of Joe's infantry. I think that makes things a lot harder for Joe to execute the strategy with. And of course, similarly though, Joe really should go for an MD42 at some point, in particular now that Tiramisu's bringing up light machine guns as riflemen. And while of course he's getting veteran squad leader Grenadiers out finally, which will be certainly more formidable. Short term, he's not going to have that many, at which point having machine gun to help deal with some all of Tiramisu's infantry is going to be pretty good. Pioneers with the Lieutenant, doing some damage, but in the end I feel like the Lieutenant hit with Thompson, as long as he's alive, is going to have the upper hand decisively against the Pioneers, will retreat. On the west here, big push by Tiramisu, striking at Joe's fuel. And ruining the Bartwire work he just did. Typical tankers. Back here though, Pack 40 ready for Jove and Germany. So needs to find around the Carfing, got 13 kills, close to a veteran fee. Not bad at these prioritizing than its most veterans, since they're going to really benefit with the veteran schooling when they're already veterans, since basically what the veteran schooling does besides adding a 5th guy with a G for defeat also just basically increases the accuracy by 10%, and that's really where sort of the overall goodness element is. Also just makes it harder to kill in general, but getting that extra 10% accuracy plus the G for defeat really just means the score can actually do some serious damage. 50 cal there on the way for Tiramisu. Pack 4 landing a great hand to a light tank, piercing through the thin armor. Tiramisu's getting plenty of resource here. And in particular on a map like Crossroads, which are larger than average, this is something quickly snowball out of control. In particular with the Americans, who are already a very snowball heavy faction. Which is usually why it can feel particularly bad as the Wehrmacht against the Americans, because the Americans, more than any of the other allied factions, really just snowball so hard because they get free units as they tech up. Plus have an overall very efficient tech structure. So, and particularly on a map like this, ending up behind the Americans can end up very punishing here. So Jove needs to basically hit hard his back at his opponent, needs to keep up momentum here, otherwise he risks this turning against him very rapidly. Fortunately for him though, Tiramisu has not quite been able to secure fuel as easily, though he's just been able to, I think, do it somewhat safely. So things could get a bit ugly there. Grenadiers moving up there. Veteran Grenadiers got 2 squads up now. 2 more to go, and there you go. 50 cal also out there. We got Joe there with the MG42, so both sides have brought up machine guns. Roughly at the same time, actually. Interesting timing. Either way, that should give them both a bit of a helping hand versus all the infantry. Nothing further going than Joe's base. He could consider taking up as well, of course. That'd be very good for Jove. The faster the better. We get a mortar over Jove, provides further support for his infantry. Of course, very good there. Helps us the mortar, and can also provide them more utility, for example, with smoke screens. We got the lieutenant being hammered with MG42. Pack shoots at the Stuart light tank, punches through once more. Falling back there. Lieutenant still being suppressed here. And we got Telemines here, good spot. The Telemina. Gunner's holding up here. Other Gunner's got to defend the fuel point. He's obviously worried about another push there. He wants to keep the fuel line secure versus upon harassment. You can see that Tiramisu is taking up. There's another little fuel drop there. So good work there. Driving there versus the Pioneer. Gunner's heading eastwards. And there you go. Got the mortar bringing down here as well against the Rifleman. First shot though falls short. And also effectively signals to Tiramisu that Jove has a mortar. And go Rifleman taking damage. Got the Veterans Call. Grenadiers moving up there. Veterans C3, and looks like here though what's happened is briefly had a unit stuck behind the ambulance, which is why you want to actually place the ambulance a bit further away from the base so you can avoid units getting stuck, but also just avoid messing with retreat pathing. The American base in that sense is kind of a bit of a mess. It looks cool, but it causes a lot of pathing issues as well in a strange way, in particular with infantry, and then combine it with the ambulance. So bit of advice is just place your ambulance a bit further away there from the base, like don't keep it up right next to it. Grenadiers was reassurance. In the west here we got pack followers to a light tank again. Cover shattered. Grenadiers heal themselves up at the front line. We got 3 veteran Grenadiers squads now here for Joe and the 352nd. Rifleman by the southern field. We got Rifleman versus the Grenadiers. In cover there was the Rifleman. They should have the upper hand there. Until Ludwig drops there, in which case the Rifleman should have the upper hand possibly. At least things get a lot less clear, but there you go. Rifleman bleeding out. It's going to be a close one there. Hard to say who's going to win that one. Here we got South, we got Grenadiers Rifleman, but without veterans call leaders, so they are getting it, but even then they're a bit low in health and numbers. So may work out. Down to just one man, they go retreating. In the west we got Grenadiers flanking the 50 cal there, the Mardus, and we got a second one up there for Tiramisu. In the center before holding up the Americans. Artillery called in though. Probably should use that machine gun a bit more actively, and there you go. 50 cal though, of course, neat and turning around the Grenadiers and suppressing them. Need to retreat that MG42. Some of these partners bring up, pack 40 hanging back. Mortar there, hammering away probably at the Major, trying to silence him. Tech also down there for Jove. Need to get that Sapoma Cop Schnell and rush out to Marley. Got Rifleman in pursuit here, but the Grenadiers probably using the west side. Cough hit again. Tiramisu's a bit over time away there from a Sherman tank. They're not too far either. Certainly much sooner closer to that, and I think the Jove is still Panzer IV. The mortar fire raining down, season eastern point here. We got 406 versus 111. Granat engaged by the Major, forcing Joe to reposition this Granat in the Alpha to avoid an untimely end at the hands of the American. So there you go, Lieutenant routed. Could not push past the veteran Grenadiers. Major continues the hunt for the mortar. Still no support. Oh, there we go. Sapoma caught. In fact, right goes up just to say there's still no sign of it. He then builds it. Cheeky bastard. Veteran Grenadiers push against these here. Reasons forced retreat. Also threatens the retreat path of the rifle sport. There, in fact, if team is not careful, Stuart opening up there. 4 kills close to Veteran D2. Grenadiers versus Stuart. Back here, troops reinforcing. Pack moving up. Grenadiers, well, they got the 50 cal opening up on the pack, actually. Checking down the Grenadiers, maybe get a jump down the 50 cal. There we go. Turns around the gun to deal with those. Good timing there. And these two Grenadiers Rifleman up close. They're going to definitely have an advantage there. And they also still got a bit of light cover bonus as Dean West the Rifleman here. 23 kills. Rifleman quickly dropping there in numbers. Mortar firing down in the 50 caliber. Taking advantage of the trying to suppress the Grenadiers on uncover. And almost getting a wipe there, in fact. Oh! Actually got it. Good work there by Jove. Bad news for Tiramisu, who's going for the Sherman tank though. Jove can go for a Panther 4 right about now, and probably surely should go for a Stug. We'll have to see. There you go, grab the 5th cover there under Tiramisu's nose. See in the second armament. 50 cal there, hold away. Leaving a veteran Grenadier squad to hold up the line. There you go, Panzer campaign here for Jove, the 352nd. Receiving support from the nearby 2nd Panzer Division. Troops routed. West side here, we got the Grenadiers could move over here on the western victory point. Depleted rifle squad probably should be retreated unless he might want to risk it against the veteran Grenadier squad appearing out of nowhere. Theoretically, stormtroopers. Panther 4 halfway down there for Jove. Sherman almost down there for Tiramisu. Great from the Pack 4 and the Stuart, which has definitely been giving Jove a bit of a hard time here. A rough ride. We got 316 versus 411. Tiramisu's got an leads over Jove here. There we go. Sherman tank out, rolling out for freedom. In the west, Grenadiers give us the rifle squad. Already out in the open though, they take some nasty hits. Rifle squad should have, I think, a good chance with the Grenadiers, though they are still in no cover, so the Grenadiers in heavy cover, so theoretically cut back from the riflemen. It would be a close one. Panther 40 for Jove, troops reinforcing healing, MD4 on 50 cover moving out. There you go, MD4 troop flanked here by a big push by Tiramisu with the lieutenant and the rifle squad. Kenny machine being added to the Panther 4, very good. Shoots and misses. And misses again. They get a kill with a machine gun. 50 cal, that's a Stuart. That's going to retreat. Needs to be got the Sherman hitting the Pioneers. Going to force retreat there. Also got the 50 cal there added on top of the Sherman. Very good. Their Pioneers down to half health already. In the west, Grenadiers advancing. Veteran Grenadiers flashing out to the Americans. The one spot's been cut off from his fuel. They're really aggressive and active harassment there by Tiramisu. Back here, troops reinforcing for Jove. In the west side, we got Grenadiers moving up. They're running to the rifle squad and lieutenant. Shot fired. Anti-tank grenade goes off the frontal arm of the Panther 4. Does some light damage, but nothing critical there to the Panzer Kampfwagens. Continued operations against the armies. Stood light tank here, tearing into the Grenadiers, or at least attempting to. Rifle Major setting out. Panther 4 moving in as well. Panther 4 and the still light tank. We're going to have a bit of a clash, I think, between the Sherman and the Panther 4. Shot bounces. Bit of bad luck there for Jove. Great there for Tiramisu. Penetrating hit there, though. Definitely a bit better there for Jove and Germany. More rations there for Tiramisu. Might be planning a bazooka team, or he might be getting minesweepers there, but it might also just be help to repair. Largest shot there. Mortar firing down here in the American position. The West Grenadiers continue up the line here, but they're being threatened here with the 50 caliber. In the east side, we got a lone Grenadier squad coming up, and they could threaten Tiramisu's fuel point as well. Machine guns being hauled forward. Pioneers need to go work on that Panzer 4. There we go. Should upgrade them with veteran squad leaders. Has numerous benefits, including one which of course is increasing repair speed. And there we go. Has removal package and veteran squad leaders, meaning that Pioneer squad will be quite efficient at repairing armor for Jove. And he's going for the Stug 3G. Nice pick there as well versus all of Tiramisu's armor. So returning giving him a bit of an edge there. If well handled, that is. Still in trouble once more. Pack landing several hits there. Maybe I'd managed the Panther fast. I think that Stuart would have been dead. Sherman in the move again. And there you go. Second Sherman there for Tiramisu and the 2nd Armored Division. Comes with the echelons. Troops holding up there. Back here, troops reinforcing healing. Stug almost done. Panther holds the mania. Stug almost done. There we go. Stug 3G, the Sturmgeschütz 3 aus Filmgi. Right from there, engaging the Panther 4, supported by the Sherman. Panther 4 down to, well, 3/4 well. There go veterans one gain, pulling back towards the machine gun to deal with infantry, while the Panther 4 and the pack can then try and deal with the Sherman. Of course, the smoke screen here on either pack or the machine gun position could deflate this position. Also, from there, continuing ahead there. Should have smoked out, and there goes Sherman taken out by the Stug moving in there. Pack though gets cleared out still. Sticking a blow there to Tiramisu, who is now short a Sherman tank, whereas Jove still has his Panther 4, and of course now Stug. And the pack can recruit this. A bit of blow there to Tiramisu and the 2nd Armored Division. German defences held firm in the face of American aggression. Sherman there sending out a 50 caliber machine gun to that one as well. And we got the captain on the way. This is obviously going to go down to tank guns. He may also want to consider, if possible, considering weapon racks for additional BARs on the infantry of the Browning, like machine guns or some bazookas. So to feel like flooding that many munitions is a bit of an oversight there by Tiramisu, which is only really to the advantage of Joe, who is adding a pinlock machine gun to Stug as well. Still got, there we go, 3 veteran grenadier squads to gain the variations, who very quickly hightail it out. They're obviously having no illusions about how that engagement would fare. Pan easily, of course, reinforced, then fix up the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Stug opening on the Major with its 10 family cannon. Sherman pushing on the west side, outmaneuvering their Jove strong point in the centre. Thumbs up for Tiramisu there, good play. Instead of getting bogged down and trying to break through Jove's centre, he looks for the weak spots and hits them hard. More artillery firing down. Stug, they need to be careful. He might have extended a bit here. In fact, Stuart's diamond here going for Stug, getting stand up as well. That really bad news there for Jove. Should have supported it better, I think. Anti-tank grenade also goes off in the Stug's engine, damaging it. Main gun out. Oh yeah, this is pretty bad here for Jove. Got a bit too confident. Remember, it's a Stug, not a Tiger Ace. Panther 4 getting mentioned 2 damage. Engine guards the Stuart out of commission, but the Stug loss is going to hurt Jove a bit. It will hurt Jove a bit. Still, he's gotten 1 Sherman, 1 Stuart out of the commission. He's only lost a Stug in return, so it's not all bad there for Jove, obviously, but it does help out Tiramisu a bit that he was able to put the Stug out of commission, so it was one of his bigger threats to the Sherman, really. So not having to worry about that is going to, I think, be notably helpful there for Tiramisu. I think Tiramisu should look into some artillery. I think a simple mortar would actually do Tiramisu quite a bit of good here versus Jove. And like in theory, if it becomes necessary, you could also then call in the Calliope for like further explosive barrages. But I feel like a mortar would just be a good pick. Honestly, with the captain, pack howitzer. Oh, waste of artillery would be a very good pick for Tiramisu versus Jove. Also doing reasonable work there with his Granat and Mare for troops reinforcing healing. Tiramisu advancing up the left side and the east side, trying to, as much possible, avoid here Jove's hard point. The center just hit everything around it. I think that's a very good play there by Tiramisu. But he's now beginning to strike into it again. Bit of a bad call there by Tiramisu versus Jove. Still around front of the raft. Ooh, that actually killed one of his own. Almost got the lieutenant here. That's going to be great there for Joe, but no, looks like Tiramisu's lieutenant is a hell of a render, and he escapes the wrath of the Panzerkampfwagen 4. 5th got the round from the west here by the almost ace grenadiers. We got 90 all the way there for Tiramisu, as expected to deal with Jove's Panzerwaffe. His Panzer 4, they're almost good to go again. Seizing eastern point. Got the 5th car flanking up, using the carve point there. Nice play there by Jove. We've got the anti-tank almost done there for Tiramisu. Jove can still go for another Panther 4. Could just try and go for the Stug he wanted to. Tillermines on there for Jove. Good spot. Captain there immediately right here by the combined double threat here with the Panther 4 and the 50 caliber. A tag team of doom. For the infantry, that is. There you go, 5th got caught with the rifle hawk. This host and light machine gun fire, they forced to retreat. Here comes the rifle squad. 2nd grenade squad move up to support here, but he decides not to assist. I feel like that's a bit of a mistake there by Joe, possibly. Reasons moving up here for Tiramisu. Bit of skirmishing there. Pioneers gaining veteran 2 in the process. Joe can go for another Panther 4. Now he goes for another Stug. Nothing wrong in that for sure. Nothing wrong. We'll have to see how Tiramisu reacts to the arrival of the 2nd Stug once he, of course, becomes aware of the 2nd Stug. Panther 4, they push back. Took a bit of light damage here from the M1 anti-tank gun. Pushing through the rear armor there, the Panther 4 with ease. Ruffin and the captain. Ooh, almost got the entire unit wiped down to just one man who is quickly forced to abandon position. And assault. Nothing further on the Joe's base. We just got healing reinforcement. Of course, that's Stu 3G, number 2. So there you go, another Sturmgeschütz. Rifleman about the center, and these altogether standing about here, a bit of waffling about. Sherman getting ready to attack the center. Joe rather conspicuous by his absence around the center, actually. You know, machine guns, the support weapons, looks like he's going to rely on a counterattack force to deal with that. Panther 4 moving up, Stu moving in, but we've also got an anti-tank ready to support the Sherman, which could quickly turn things a bit hazardous there for Joe. These near and the Sherman on the Panther 4, Stu moving to deal with that. Rifleman and Canadians clashing out with the 5th cover, backing up Joe. Mortar 5, of course, also joining in the front, they're getting ready to 2 and 3 kills. Stu ready with its MG42. Moving ahead into the Sherman's line fire, of course, still got the M1 anti-tank backing it up. And the west side, also Joe launching an assault to clear out the cemetery of any amerikanische Schwein. Hunden. And seem to encounter one Rob Squad's going to be around here. I think they're pretty quickly in the center here. Going to leave versus the Sherman. Playing out those crap bastards. The support here from the lieutenant and the major. Assault into the cemetery continues. Limited resistance now from Tiramisu. 50 cal on the right flank routed here as Jove extends presence. Then we got tanks on the way there for Tiramisu to help deal with Joe's Panzerwaffe. Very good there. 50 cal they're getting better 2. Major being stressed out in the open air. No real respite here for the German army and its relentless deluge of bullets and death. Got the road point there. Jackson tank still halfway done for Tiramisu. Could use the captain supervisor, of course. No, he's not just upgraded the captain with the Bahrain light machine, but also the BAR, giving him quite a bit of firepower there. Showing up with infantry and a 50. Anti-tank and there go Pioneers right. Caught laying down S-mines on the carve point there. Not a bad move all there by Joe. Pretty cheeky but effective. 2 minutes on the hunt here, backed up with the anti-tank gun here for the Panther 4. Stu moving up and there goes mounting up the Sherman, doing no real damage to it. The Stu on the other hand does do damage to it alongside the Panther 4 and the Sherman. In fact, it's down to less than a quarter of health now. I mean, countered several accurate hits from the Stuk and the Panther 4, leaving Tiramisu Sherman tank in a bit of a deplorable state. We also got 225 to 318. Joe's still behind Tiramisu, but he's starting to catch up. Going the western point, moving up. Panther on the advancing rifleman, Stuk hanging back. Correct hit on the Panther there from Jackson. Further up north, going to around the far north point there. Jackson setting out there for Tiramisu on the prowl. No mines there, at least they've been cleared out to detonate it. Panther 4 need repairs, got the Pioneers how to work their first fix up. The Stu though, because the Stu takes less time to fix up, so he's prioritising that one. Nice bit of repair triage there, I think, by Jove. Fragmentation bomb ready, assault and hold ready. We'll have to see mixed use of it. Could be quite effective, I think, if correctly timed. In fact, himself, I've really only used the veteran school to do upgrades, and that's it from the docks. A bit underwhelming. This was a rifleman. Do close to veteran T1. You got 225, this is 277. Bit of skirmishing, and then far up north, we're going to go towards the captain. Captain, no charging unit heavy cover. That is ace level, so despite having a BAR and a Thompson on top of everything, they are still routed with these here by the victorious Grenadiers. And the reasons on the next targets on the menu, 25 kills, they're very good. Very good. 5th guard, that pack moving up eastwards. Stuk Panther 4 sending eastwards as well. Direct shot there from the Jackson, the Panther 4 piercing the Panther 4's frontal armor pack. Those shoots and gets a slight hit on the Jackson. Second shot misses though. Up north, Stuke moving in to pursue the Sherman. There he goes, shoots and gets directed on the Sherman. Piercing the rear armor, gaining veterans on the process. Opening up for the heat chill ability. Jackson and a bit of fire still, but no real hits. Panther 4 slowly moving up there. Jove could support with the Stuke. Up north, we've got the Sherman dealing with the infantry here. Finally pushing them out of the northeastern corner of the cemetery there. And removing a rather obstinate thorn in his side there, as they were clearly giving Tiramisu a bit of an annoying problem. Stuke though is still a bit about veterans who won. And you got the heavy Panzer copy for Jove. Could be a Sturmpanzer, could be a Panther, could be a Panzerwerfer. Panzerwerfer I feel like wouldn't be the optimal choice here. Sturmpanzer I think a better pick here. Good all to go for a Panther, but I think Sturmpanzer would be more helpful as all the infantry support weapons. There we go. Sturmpanzer 4 on the way for Jove and Germany. Western 17 1 being claimed there by Tiramisu and the American Army. Grenadiers on the fire here from the Captain and the Sherman, tearing into them with reckless glee and abandon. Stuke sitting out, there you go, nice flanking the Sherman. Great hit from the M1 taking on the Stuke. Jackson also gets a great hit off there. Panther 4 halfway to veterans of halfway there. Stuke though meanwhile is all the way to death. Knocked out here with the Jackson anti-tank gun combo. Cancels it and gets set to go for a Panther, makes a bit more sense here. I'd probably still recommend a Stuke, but you know, Panther does make a bit more sense now, considering the change there in battlefield situation here. Panther 4 close to the ace level here for Jove. Troops are reinforcing. Still plenty of missions being flooded there by Tiramisu. No sign of weapon racks or real ability usage. Not even grenades. Feels a bit like a nose out there by Tiramisu. Bit inefficient. Anti-tank against firing at the Jackson. Jackson running back there at the Panther 4. Machine gun issue popping to the armpit run for increased damage. Can in fact allow him to clear out the anti-tank very fast. Panther almost done there for Jove. We got a fragmentation bomb off here against the anti-tank and the rifle squad. Pack though cleared out here as the Americans push through. Then there go fragmentation bomb goes off and the anti-tank and crew gets cleared out as the bomblets tear through them. Panther ready here for Jove. The heat is increasing in Tiramisu. Will he be ready for the arrival of that? We got Grenadiers moving up. Sherman sending out. Panther about to reach the front line. Pack crew by Pioneers. Panther moving ahead here. Panther moving forwards, adding the pinlock machine gun. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. M1 anti-tank also crewed up here. Increasing the amount of anti-tank fire can bring to bear versus Tiramisu. And the M1's probably going to bigger issue for him due to the high rate of fire. If it could shoot, but apparently doesn't. There we go. Bit slow though. Bit too slow. Panther continues ahead here, doesn't care. Needs some support though. But there you go, good hit on the Jackson tank, which pops the H-Rep round for increased penetration. Sherman in there, shoots bounces. Panther shoots misses. Another hit there from the Jackson tank. So Western Fuel Point once being attacked here by Tiramisu's infantry. We got 225, it's 192. Jove's on the lead over Tiramisu, who is committing to a second Sherman tank here versus the Krauts, the Nazis. In these rifling up, the Reasons grabbing here as well. 50 caliber there under German command, holding up this eastern victory pawn there. We got more bleed there on Tiramisu. Panther close to veterans 1. Grenadiers being routed by the 50 caliber. Turning into the pinned down rifle squad. Cat moving out. There's his rifleman. Bit quiet. Well, not quiet, but oh, there. Oh, we get assault and hope. We actually get an assault with that to put some of 3 ability usage. That's very good. Meanwhile, Tiramisu's really only used the light machine guns. I don't think he's been using anything else in the doctrine, which is definitely no stop. But there you go. Grenadiers pushing ahead. Gaining effects of 25% accuracy bonus, but also grab points a lot faster, so that's pretty good there. Vipcon East needs armor support here. Let's get cleared up with the Shermans as Tiramisu is looking to unhinge Joe's front line here by attacking through these. It seems that with infantry support lacking for the tanks, that might go less well. Moving straight ahead, gun this as lieutenant. Up close to the 8th Grenadiers for the veterancy. Squad leaders then, of course, the assault and hull ability check for the lieutenant with ease. Gun is arrived by the Sham. Need to get the Panther on that. Lieutenant there taking heavy damage. They go down to just 3 men. Panther needs to get moving. Panther 4 as well. We got 225 as 174. And there you go. Assault and hold is over. Push there by Jove. Shermans and Jackson moving about here. Panther moving forwards there for Jove. On the west, we've got the 5th Cavalry being flanked. Grenadiers right here. So he's got the 2 Shermans engaging there on the retreat path. Jackson there, though, engaging the Panthers and flanks the 2 Shermans. Need the more armor support, though. Shots bouncing and penetrating the Panthers' armor. And there you go. Almost got a Sherman. Looks like Joe's got the offensive now. They've got the Panther ready to back up the Panther. Pack 4, of course, called supporting a pinch. There you go. Ace level gain. Panther down to half health, but the Sherman there is close to being destroyed. Pack landing hits, and there you go. Could turn this up. They've got a combat blitz. Blitzkrieg to try and take out the Jackson. There you go. The Jackson is down. Sherman there being repaired. Quickly cleared out, and there you go. Tiramisu realized the battle is lost. Surrenders. GG, game over here. A loss for America. Freedom, democracy, victory for the German army here in the snowy wastes of Crossroads winter. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.